the former media executive Indrani Mukerjea walked out of Mumbai's Byculla women's prison after over 6 years. She was arrested for allegedly murdering her daughter, Sheena Bora. In her first comments to the media, she refused to speak about the case or her sensational claim that her daughter was still alive and said that she had forgiven people who had hurt her. Indrani is out on bail even as the trial in the Sheena Bora murder case continues. Listen in to what she said.
Are you writing a memoir or something?
Not a memoir, I'm writing something.
A book?
Yeah, something is cooking. Yes.
Is it ready almost?
What is it about?
Overall, वो book जो है आप देखिए जब वो और टाइम नजदीक आएंगे शायद 4-5 महीना में हो जाए.
After being in jail for more than 6.5 years for allegedly murdering her own child, Indrani Mukerjea on Friday walked out of jail, and now, as of now, what we can say is that she is at her apartment that you are seeing right on your screens. The former media executive Indrani Mukerjea is the prime accused in the Sheena Bora murder case, and she walked out of prison on Friday after the CBI court allowed her release on furnishing a cash bond of 2 lakh rupees. As of now, she is not speaking to the media, but what she said is that she is very happy today. That is the only thing that she has said to the media. We know that how this entire trial has been going on for more than 6.5 years, and that is exactly what the Supreme Court said, that it has been more than 6.5 years, and since the trial has not ended yet, the bail was granted to her. There are a lot of however, conditions that has been set for the bail, which needs to be followed by her. But on Friday evening, she was released from the Byculla women's jail, and later she reached at her residence where she is right now. As of now, she is not speaking to the media, but the only thing that she said is that she is very happy. She is continuously being saying, even in the past, that there has been no murder. She has been, in fact, few months before, she had said that one of her jail inmates told her that their jail inmate saw Sheena Bora in Kashmir. She also wrote a letter about the same. So a controversial figure who has been in jail for more than 6.5 years has been able to walk out, and as of now is at her residence in Mumbai. In Mumbai with camera person Praveen Jirohit, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
Well, this is a case that had clearly gripped the attention of the entire nation. Desh Ratan Nigam, advocate of the Supreme Court, and Khushbu Jain, also a Supreme Court advocate, now join us on NDTV to talk more about this. Mr. Nigam, if I can begin by asking you, Indrani Mukerjea has essentially walked out of jail. She's been granted bail because this is a trial that has now continued for over 6 years, and what Mukul Rohatgi said in the Supreme Court is essentially that it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon.
Yes, certainly, because out of 237 witnesses, only 68 witnesses have been cross-examined till now, and therefore the possibility of a long protracted delay in completion of trial may take place, and therefore, since she's already been there for 6.5 years, the court in its wisdom thought that she should be released on bail. And obviously those conditions, there are several conditions which are imposed in a normal course, which may have been imposed on her as well. I think that's what the order also says. However, it also raises an important issue about delay in trial, because delay in trial in India is a very, very painful thing, and we do require a lot of judicial reforms so that it can be speeded up. Otherwise, say, for example, tomorrow, if she is, acquitted of all the charges, then who is going to give her back the 6.5 years she has been in jail? So the case itself has raised few questions which need to be addressed by the judiciary and the government of the day.
I think that's a very important point that you make. And Khushbu Jain, do you want to come in here? I mean, the fact is that Indrani Mukerjea has been behind bars for over 6 years based on circumstantial evidence. She's been accused, of course, of colluding with her driver, Peter Mukerjea, to murder her own daughter. She in the middle even, came out and said during the course of the trial that her daughter is still alive, something that the CBI absolutely rubbished. But today she's out. She's talking about writing a book. She's of course not talking about the case because all of this is sub judice. But the truth is that, this has been such a high profile case that has been at the center of the media's attention. It gripped the attention of the entire country just because the details of the case were so sensational, and yet there's no end to sight, and she has been in jail for over 6 years based on circumstantial evidence.
See, I would not want to comment directly on the case, but coming on the trial state and coming on the rights of the victim, let me put an observation made by the courts consistently in plethora of judgments where they guarantee that there is a liberty guaranteed under Part 3 of the Constitution that cover within its protective ambit not only due procedure, fairness, but also access to justice and speedy trial, which is imperative, and under trials cannot definitely be detained pending the trial. So I want to focus on that under trials, the people who are under trial cannot be detained pending the trial. And once it is obvious that a timely trial would not be possible and the accused has suffered incarceration of significant period of time, let's say 10 years of imprisonment, you've already gone 6.5 years, the courts would ordinarily take a stand and has taken the stand in the past in plethora of judgments by obligating itself to enlarge bail to those accused. Nonetheless, coming back on the Constitution, I would say that there have been we have to understand that the state of affairs of under trials prevalent in India is a point of observation.
Right.
I'll pick up a report of Indian Express.
Just very quickly, Deshrata Nigam, a lot has been written and said even today in the light of the Indrani Mukerjea case, how jail and not bail is the norm, and that is true for not just this case but several other cases as well, where trials are going on, the slow wheels of justice taking their own sweet time. But shouldn't therefore there be now at least thought process around a paradigm shift?
See, this exclusively falls within the judicial domain, and judiciary, while granting bail, also takes into consideration whether the evidence will be destroyed or the witnesses will be tampered with or influenced, depending on how powerful is the status of the people involved. So in this particular case, the accused were quite powerful and influential, and therefore I think that was the only reason the courts have been rejecting her bail time and again. But however, the Supreme Court in its wisdom today thought that 6.5 years has gone by, and therefore incarceration, and that to such a protected one, will not serve the purpose, and therefore liberty has taken over the incarceration. So in my opinion, it is all right, but she also has to be careful, because this kind of statements coming out that she's still alive, her daughter is still alive, is very sensational, especially when I'm sure when the dead body was found from the Raigad, they must have done DNA analysis also and come to a conclusion, because it was a very decomposed body that was found. And I'm sure they must have done the DNA analysis. The records will show, and that and the reports must have matched.
Yes.
And such kind of sensationalism coming now is an effort to influence the trial, is a moot question.
All right. Well, there is a lot of media attention on this particular case, and that's nothing new, but we're going to continue to keep a close watch on the trial. And Indrani Mukerjea, of course, has been given bail. The court in its wisdom, the Supreme Court in its wisdom, decided that she served over 6.5 years in a trial that is nowhere close to a closure, and therefore she is out on bail with, of course, the terms and conditions. Thank you both very much for joining us.